Hi, this is a video on how to replace your buffer in a Marlin 99. Now, a Marlin 99 is similar and uses the same part as a Model 60 Marlin. So right now what I've got here is a Marlin Model 99 M1 carbine. So I'm going to show you how to disassemble it and replace your plastic buffer. So the first step is to take this small screw off right here on this ring clip for your actually it's for your, oh, I don't know why I can't get this. I hit it apart. It's for your sling. So you take this little screw out. And then there's two screws on the top here that hold this top piece on. Just take these two screws out, this one right here. And there's one on the other side. Okay, take that off. Now you take, oops, gotta slide this off. Take this off. Now what you do is you remove this screw and then this screw next to the trigger. Both of these, then you can take the barrel assembly off. So we'll take this one off first. Now this Marlin M1 is a pre-1968 because it does not have a bolt lock on it. So my procedure might be slightly different than yours if you have a newer gun, but it's, you know, all very similar. So I'll get this off. And you take the stock or the barrel assembly right off from the stock and trigger. You don't have to take the trigger off. The trigger are these last two bolts. You don't have to remove that. This off like this. Basically take that off to the side like that. Now the buffer is right here. This is a plastic piece and this is known to break. So to take the buffer off, the first thing you want to do is disengage some of these springs. So when you take this plate apart, well actually, I'm sorry, the first thing we got to do is we got to take this assembly away from this assembly. So to do that, there's two screws on each side. You take this screw off right here. And then there's a screw on this side. Actually, there's 4 screws total. There's a screw on each end here. Now, Model 60 is different than this, and you might want to watch some videos on that. This is the Model 99, but So it's a screw that goes into a screw, into a threaded thing there. So that's that part. Now you can take this assembly out like this. Now you can put this off to the side. Oh, and I was going to tell you, you want to remove this first. This is your magazine or your tube feed. I'm going to take that out. So the first step in doing this is you want to undo some of these springs, because if you try to take this apart, it'll go flying apart, and that is not what you want to have happen. So the first thing is to loosen the hammer spring. Now, to loosen the hammer spring, I made a little clip here out of a wire that other guys on other videos showed me, and what you do is you put it into this hole here for the hammer spring, because you don't want to have this rod go through the spring, because you'll have a heck of a time trying to put it together. So you put this wire through that hole there, and then what you do is you go to the underside and you press this little lever right here in, and you cock the hammer spring back, and that will prevent the thing from going apart. And that'll loosen the tension on the spring. So get this a little better. There we go, like that. And then there's another spring on mine that I disengage, which is for your tube feed. It feeds the shells into the tube. So you take a little screwdriver and you undo it from this side here, and that takes the tension off that spring. So now, if you've got a bolt catcher, there's another procedure to do the bolt lock, but I don't have that on this gun, so I can't show you that. Then the next step is to just take these E-clips off. Now you got to be very careful with these E-clips because they can go flying. So you just pop each one off. I've just got 2 on this gun. There's one. And then here's the last one. Like that. And set them down carefully. And then you can just lift this up like that. And I got to clean that. So here's the buffer right here that's broken. And so all you do is you put this new buffer in, and you put the tilt, or the this edge back to the back side. It's got to be this orientated this way, and then you can reassemble it. So to reassemble it, it's pretty much no big deal. It's basically the reverse process, so I'm not going to go through that, but I'd like to show you. And then when you go to take the hammer spring off, you push the hammer back and you loosen that spring, and there you go. Now when you put this plate back on, you got to kind of guide it in place. Like this thing's got to be piloted. These 2 holes for the E-clips have got to be piloted. This has got to be piloted, and this has got to be piloted. So make sure you pilot them all together. Put the E-clips in and use the reverse procedure to put it back together. So with that, good luck. And once again, this is a pre-1968, and I use an 1/8 of an inch hole buffer. And these are actually prototypes I got from a guy. He wanted me to try them, and I did that, and everything seems to be fine. It looks like it's going to go together just fine. But this will also work for an early version of Marlin 60 with an 1/8 inch hole. So I think they come in 1/8 inch holes, 0.25 inch holes, and when I mean holes for this a buffer to go into this pin, and a 0.155. So I've got the earlier one with the smaller hole, and this is for the same dimensions as a Model 60, but apparently it works just fine on a Model 99 Marlin. So with that, thank you very much.